In order for something new to come, something old must go. And that old can sometimes mean let go of what you know until now. Empty the cup and start from the beginning. It's not easy to do, but at the moment it's the only way how something that is blocked can be brought back to movement. You must spill the old tea and pour in new one. Then things look different. In order for something.
So, that really hit me when I seen it recently, and sometimes you gotta let go of something that's holding you back in the past. For me, it's a couple activities. To allow for something new to come that you've been yearning for. You may not know what it is, exactly what it is. You may think you know what it is. Maybe it's more money, or maybe it's a soulmate or a partner. But to, or like something else, something that you want, but to allow for that to happen, you must let go of something that's holding you back. It could be a bad habit. It could be something that's taking up your time that you don't need to be doing anymore. And you may think doing that activity is beneficial for you. I'm going to be speaking vaguely so that we don't go down a certain rabbit hole and I'm unable to you're unable to relate to what I'm talking about. But if there's activities that's taking up your time, that could be preventing you from getting you somewhere you want to be. For me, there was a couple activities that I feel have been taking up my time. And as the Shaolin monk says, in order for something new to come, you must spill the old tea. And this old tea are those activities. A couple of those activities have been activities I've been doing probably for the last 15 years on a constant basis, day-to-day basis. This involves, personal activities, recreational activities, and you kind of get the gist of what I mean. And since I've come here to Sri Lanka, I haven't been around those familiar recreational environments, if you know what I mean. So it's allowed me to take a step back and spill the tea for a bit, spill the old tea, and I have a feeling it is opening up new doors for me over here, in the sense of a little more clarity. I'm not going to tell you what those activities are, but I think you kind of may know what they might be. So I really like that quote by the Shaolin monk, and let's go through some more things that he's talking about, more topics that he's talking about, and let's see what we can learn together. We do this.
You are going to learn that your body is important just as your mind is important. And based on this very basic idea, now it starts. Now somebody maybe ask, okay, now, yes, I want to develop the mind. how should I do it? And then in the Shaolin temple, traditionally we are teaching Buddhist teachings, Confucianist teachings, and Taoist teachings. So 3, let's say, teachings aiming in the development of the mind.
Damn. I know Buddhist teachings myself, but Taoist teachings I'm not too knowledgeable in, and I think you mentioned.
So you are reading in the Taoist teachings, Buddhist teachings, Confucianist teachings, and Taoist teachings.
Yeah, Confucianist teachings as well. They are similar, but they have their differences from Buddhism. So let's see what the Shi Heng Yi explains about these philosophies and ways of life.
So 3, let's say, teachings aiming in the development of the mind. So you are reading theories, you are reading essays, you are reading different texts, maybe some of them describing the life of one of these persons, meaning Buddha, or maybe Lao Tzu, or maybe Confucius. Yeah. By putting yourself into the skin of those personalities, you may be
putting yourself into those shoes of those prominent figures.
Maybe or maybe not, get a glimpse of, okay, so this is how they were living. This is the virtues that they inhabited in themselves, why they are behaving in this, and that way. These were some type of virtues that they were abiding to, that they kept as a guideline in their daily life. That is like where the theory part, in a way, tries to already offer you something. Offer you something because at the end of the day, it's still up to you to decide whether you take what you have observed there as something that you think is useful for you.
And that's what separates all of us. Whether you take the lessons of our ancestors and our founding gurus and leaders and prominent thinkers of the world, it's up to you if you want to take those lessons and use them. I know for sure there have been weeks and months on end, maybe even years, where I was just running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Not necessarily like a chicken with his head cut off, but kind of on a free fall. Not using the lessons I know that existed and using them in my day-to-day life. So.
Or if you just say, I cannot relate to it, I don't know what it means, so it's not relevant for me. This is like in terms of theoretical aspects. And then at the same time, we have the physical practice, which means it is the Kung Fu training, it is the Tai Chi training, and it's the Qigong training. And practical means because by doing some type of practice, you get answers. Sometimes it's answers you didn't ask, but nevertheless, the important part is that through the practice, there is some type of information and some type of knowledge being transmitted to you along the way of practice.
I agree with this statement so much, and my practice is working out. And although I've missed the last couple of days due to an injury I'm dealing with, my practice is working out. I'm not doing any kung fu, but like how the Shaolin monk is explaining, I am gaining a certain knowledge through the day-to-day practice and physical exertion of working out almost on a day-to-day basis. And I am getting some information not subconsciously that I'm not maybe aware of in the moment, but I know over time, over the last 3 years, I have gained some knowledge that I didn't have before from doing this working out on a day-to-day basis.
That will never ever come in this lifetime. Knowledge, practice. There is the important part is that through the practice there is some type of information and some type of knowledge being transmitted to you along the way of practice that will never ever come in this lifetime if you would only read books. The knowledge from the practical, the knowledge from the theoretical, this afterwards you take. What it means is you have a field of knowledge, you have an area that now at any time wherever you are going in this lifetime, you are able to access it. And when are these times to access it? It is times when you are being placed in a situation where you need to take a decision, for example. No matter from which country you're coming from, no matter from which culture somebody is coming from, this whole life is based on the decisions you are taking. Some people take that type of decision, which leads to a consequence. Other people maybe take better decisions, which leads to another consequence. Ultimately, it's about the decisions.
Yeah, I agree with that so much. Ultimately, it's about the decisions you make on a day-to-day basis and in every waking moment of your life. And yeah, some decisions in my life have led me down into a place, a dark place. Some decisions have led me to a place of peace and happiness. So being aware of how you got to those two different places is important, so that you have a foundation you can fall back on to always go to and know if I act a certain way or make a certain decision, I'll be closer to that way of life or I want to be in, or the type of place you want to be in. So it's really important. Life is all about the decisions you make, and it's better to learn them sooner than later. And yeah, I'll continue.
But how come sometimes people are confronted with the same situation, but they take completely different approaches, they take completely different decisions? It is because one of them has more or the other one has less access to knowledge, to experience than the other one. So what all of this theoretical learning, practical learning, what all of this is supposed to offer to you is just a whole bandwidth of solutions, which we think is very good to have, walking through this lifetime, not only as a martial artist. It doesn't matter from where you come from. The more possibilities you can access, the better for you.
Today's video is sponsored by Mulligan Brothers.
Through this life is very good to have, which is the host to offer to you. So what all of this theoretical learning, practical learning, what all of this is supposed to offer to you is just a whole bandwidth of solutions, which we think is very good to have walking through this lifetime, not only as a martial artist. It doesn't matter from where you come from. The more possibilities you can access, the better for you.
Today's video is sponsored by Mulligan Brothers.
Stop using ChatGPT like everyone else and do this instead. To the men over 50 who don't know how to use AI.
Some develops.
But before that, here on, let's dive into the video.
Sometimes in order for you to develop something, some type of experience, some type of situations are necessary. So that means this idea of sometimes it needs something really, really emotional that triggers you inside. Then a change comes. Sometimes it's exactly what makes you cry, exactly what makes you confront yourself and what is super uncomfortable. Exactly these moments sometimes are the ones you should be thankful for, because they carry the potential to unlock something very, very fundamental inside of you. Let's say like this, yeah?
I agree. You need to have a eureka moment that will come from you doing this to yourself, getting into a dark place, and then realizing what led you there, and then something has to happen within you to want to change. So I'll leave it at this for now. But since we've probably done about 10-15 minutes on the Shaolin monk, so, but yeah, I think I'll leave it at that for now. It's just a little tester. Hope you all found that beneficial and you enjoyed that. But we're gonna be going on and off and enjoying this stream life. I'll be back though. We're gonna be talking about Jordan Peterson, going through some music and NBA playoffs. So y'all take it easy. I'll see you soon.